All right, let me check this far. I think we're going to be good. I'm going to check that before we get started. Welcome back to my shop. Today we're going to talk about breaking this log down. We're going to go outside. We're actually going to pick the chainsaw up and we're going to cut this log. We're going to take a wedge and a maul. We're going to bust this right on each side of that pith. One thing I want to talk about before we go out there is that after we do that, we're going to come back inside. We're going to put this anchor seal. This anchor seal is something that really clogs up that end grain. And what the anchor seal does is it slows the drying down of that end grain. That end grain will just suck up the air. And I'll show you how that we're going to do that. We'll be back inside. So let's go outside right now and let's take care of business. We're out here at the wood pile, and what I want to do is show you a little bit about what I want to do to take and split this wood up that we just talked about in the last video. First thing we want to do is we want to put on our safety glasses. And let me change out my glasses here. The three things that we're going to need out here, number one is going to be the chainsaw. Number two is going to be a maul. And number three, I'm going to need a wedge. And we're going to start this chainsaw. So hold your ears. Let me lay this stuff aside. Get up here. So let me get this chainsaw started and we'll be right back. Okay, I got that chainsaw started, so I know where to start. Now, if we zero in here, I want to draw out on this log so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So, down on this log, we got the pith, which the pith is right here. And I'm going to just draw it out so you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about. The next thing I want to do is that I want to look at this log and see which way, if I cut this, that it's going to be symmetrical on both sides. Actually, this is a pretty good log because it's pretty symmetrical all the way around, but I do see a couple spots that would produce a better, so I'm going to cut, actually, I think I'm going to cut right across through here and right across through here, okay? Now what this is going to do, this is going to get my center of the log out. And so I got growth rings going around here. And remember, we talk about the growth rings in a piece of dry wood, and this is even on wet wood. It's the same thing. All these growth rings are going around here. So I've got a pretty good layout of where I want this. If this pith was down here somewhere and the growth rings were here, I would probably cut this the opposite way I got now. So, but here's what we got to work with. This is a pretty good log. So let's get this chainsaw started.
Okay, one thing you want to do, you never want to cut like this. If you ever get a kickback, it's possible that chain will come back across the leg. So you always want to stand to the side where if you did get a kickback on that chainsaw, it would come back this way. So let's cut down the width of this blade. Okay, that'll take care of that part. And the wood that we're working with here today is a piece of ash. Ash is a very good wood to turn. If you ever play with it, you're going to really like it. Now, I'll take my wedge and I put in one of those curves. And actually, I want to just drive it down in there.
lay this over. Got just a little piece hanging on there. There we go. Throw that aside. Stand this up. And we want to knock off the other side of that pith. Get up there on some flatter ground. Now, what we got is got our 3 pieces of wood here, and as I'm looking at this, I know I'm going to get a natural edge bow out of right there, and I'm going to get one out of right here. This piece here, I'll take in on my bandsaw. We'll get that center out of there, then I can split it right here. And I'll probably split it right there, and I can get 4 staves out of there for some Christmas ornaments down the road. So let's go back inside, and we'll finish this up, and we'll get one ready to put on the lathe. Thank you. Okay, we're back inside here, and what I'm going to do is take this end grain sealer that we talked about earlier. Let me lay this down here out of the way so I won't step on it or knock it off. Take a brush, and just a throwaway brush, and just smear. You just want to smear this on there. You want to coat this end grain quite a bit. Just put a lot on there, just like that. Dive it in. Okay. Now, one thing that we also want to do is that we want to come down about 1 inch on this side. And what that does is that it kind of seals the wood, and it keeps that air from seeping in. Now, we're going to turn it over. I can get it to set up there. Have to compromise here a little bit. Just like this. And get a lot on this side. And this piece here is long enough to where, remember I talked about the 36 inches in length for a 15-inch piece. This piece here is long enough to get 2 bow blanks out of. So I'm going to coat that down right there. Let me lay this down, and if we need to adjust the camera, we will. And you will be able to see that, I'm going to mark it on here, that I'll be able to get a bow blank out right here. And then I'll be able to get another one out right here, okay? And what I will do is cut this in 2. If I don't do both of them in one day, I will put some end grain sealer on the one that I'm not going to do, and then I'll take this one over to the lathe, and we'll drill a 1-inch hole in here, and then we'll drive our drive center down in there, and then we'll chuck it up on the lathe, and we'll be off and running. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you got some good information out of it. Hey, go cut your log up, and I'll see you on the next video.